and welcome back to Beekeeping Basics with Danny. So today we've got the extractor in and I've pulled off two supers off of what I call my hive 1, where we had the new queen emerge, and purely because I had the swarm out of that last week, so that hive is reduced in numbers by a good to half the hive. So I've taken them off. We're going to extract them today, and then once they're extracted and I've got the empty frames, I'm going to go into hive 2 and we're going to shuffle that around slightly. Bit of advice from one of my subscribers, thank you for that. So yeah, we're going to give them a bit more room in hive 2, purely because they've got the broad box, they've got a super on there, so broad and half is on it at the moment, and the super that's on there has got quite a bit of honey and so forth on it, so it's not giving them a great deal of room, well, for the queen to lay her eggs. So what we'll do is we'll adjust the camera a minute, we'll get it over and we'll start extracting. Okay, so we've got the refractometer, so we're gonna, this is a frame, this is the outside frame, and just remember, this is my first time doing this. I'm excited to do it, it's my first honey extraction, so we'll get some of this honey on there like so. We'll just pop like that, and so we'll have a look at the reading on it. Right, so as we've seen, we're on a good content. It was 18 water moisture. Right, okay, so this is the first time for everything. So if I mess this up, I'll mess it up. So just taking the wax off. Like so. Trying not to go too deep with it. Like I say, I'm no expert at this, but it seems to be coming off okay. Oh God. Someone said it's messy, that wasn't wrong. Okay, so that's one, and we're put it into the extractor. Don't really understand. Oh, that's it. So it sits in like so. So okay, we'll go for another one. Hopefully we get better as we go with it. Taking that wax off, and obviously that wax, or the honey that's on that wax, will just seep through that. That was a bit better. We'll do the other side. Take that last bit out there. Gosh, it's very awkward to do. Some people make it look really easy. What I might do is give I've seen people do it with this as well. So obviously what you don't want to do is just dig in too deep on that. So spin this around. I'm going to take the lid off for a minute. It was a bit difficult with that lid on there. We'll pop this one in like so. Lord. So we've got the 2 in there. Do another 2. And I think this has got to be one of the most satisfying jobs as a beekeeper, when you start doing your harvesting like this. And for your very first time, like myself, it's even more better. Just taking them bits of honey off. Wax, sorry. Sticky stuff. Smells absolutely lovely. It really does. Again, any little bits like that, it's just easier to use this, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. I'm sure experienced people know a better solution to this, but maybe I'm being too fiddly with it, but hey ho. I did do the other side of that one, didn't I? Both sides, yep. Just scraping all the excess off. What a lovely smell honey is when you actually got it like this. Okay, so that's 4 frames. Get this one in the extractor and then we'll be ready to give it a spin. Right, okay, so we'll introduce the lid so it don't splat out everywhere. Got honey on my gloves, so I've got sticky gloves now. Let's get that on there and I'll set the camera up over the extractor and watch it spin. Right, okay, so in with the handle and here we go. Let the extracting commence. And as you can see, it's throwing it all out on the outsides of the, and I do believe that one that I did watch that somebody was doing was not to go too mad with it, because ruined the frame, so I'm not gonna go mad with it. It's throwing it out lovely there. And I don't know how long I should actually spin this for. I suppose you take the frame out and have a look. It will show you how pretty empty it is. But like I say, you don't want to damage the frame, so you don't want to be going mental with it. But in the same respect, you want to get it out. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at one of them frames, and then we take it out, we spin the frame around, and that will do the other side. And it runs down this drum, gathers at the bottom. There's a filter at the bottom, so it filters it all out, and it goes and sits into that bottom drum. So let's have a little look at what's come out of it to know whether we still need to do more. Now, there is still a bit left in that, so we'll carry on spinning it for the moment. Keep spinning it, and then what I'll do is I'll have another look at these. I'll have another look at these frames, see where we're at with them. The sides of the, it's starting to pull down the bottom of there, look. So still pulling itself out. I think I can still keep going with that. Let's have a look at one of the others. Most of it is coming out. I hope that I'm not damaging them in any way. So that's what I don't want to do, is damage the comb on them by spinning it too much. Don't know. Look, that there in the middle there, is that through over spinning it? I'm not sure. I think what I'd do is I'll turn them around now, so it goes that way, didn't it? So it goes that way. I need to put that in that way. Is that right? Like I say, I've never done this before. It's all a learning curve for me. You know, I'm not 100% sure on how much you spin it without damaging it. Now, I don't know whether I've overspun it too much and I'm losing the comb there, because that's what I don't want to do. So I'm guessing that's overspun. Is that the right way again? So I've turned all four of them over now, haven't I? No, I've done the two on that side. So they're all spun, all turned over the right way now, I'm pretty sure. That's that way. Okay, so we've done the first super, we've spun that off, and we're now on to the second one. As you can see, all the wax that we've been taking off so far. And I've got a little bit better with it, I've got to admit. So we're just removing the wax again. I'm trying not to go too deep. And like I said in the first one, it smells so nice. But it gets so sticky. We've done a water test on it again with the refractometer, or whatever it's called. And again, it was on 18. So it is good to go. It's not too hot of a, you know, the day, so it's not overly hot in here. It's just the right sort of temperature in here as well. Look at that though, what a beautiful capped bit of honey that is. And what we'd be doing is putting the empty frames back into the hive, just so that the bees can then, I need to get one of them back in anyway, and then at least the bees can then clean them off for me, because that's what they do. Make them all, you know, relatively good, or they're just, or once they've cleaned the one off that I'm going to put into my hive too, then the queen and that, let's just start working on it, and then she'll start laying eggs in it again, rather than there being a load of honey and stalls in there taking up all the room that she's potentially got to lay eggs. So, and I mean, that doesn't come any better than that. It really doesn't. And I'm trying not to go too deep, just taking the surface of it off, as you can see, and any remainder we then just pick off with this tool. Takes it off nicely, look. Don't damage too much of the comb then. I'm not sure how much I'll get out of all of this, but even if I get a few jars, it's better than nothing, isn't it? It's a bit of something for the hard work that we've put in over the last few months. And you know, the summer's not over yet, so I'd like to think I'll be getting some more of these. Can't see why I wouldn't. All we need is the weather to pick itself up again, like it did the other week when it was really hot, because obviously the temperature, when it starts getting hot, the bees seem to like that. And they're out foraging. And when it's like it's been windy, damp, you know, not overly hot. I know the rain that we've had's good for the summer plants, but all we need now is a nice little heat wave again. It'd be lovely. It would really get these supers going again. And when the bees start working on these, especially when they're drawn out, so whatever I put back in there, obviously they're drawn out, so that's saving the bees so much work, because all they have to do basically is fill that comb back up. They don't have to then go making the comb off of a blank canvas like it was when I started. These are already got the comb on them, so they're halfway done for them. You know, and it speeds the whole process up. And trying not to go too deep. And now you can see why, you know, with doing this, why you need like these tubs that catches all of the wax for you, and you know, it's got the tap on the bottom there. Yeah, that's my parrot, by the way. Excuse Bert. Thanks Bert for that. But there we go. I mean, just look, it's absolutely tremendous. And that's my parrot that likes to get my dogs on the go when he sees something out the window, unfortunately. Oh, a little wax on the floor. So there's quite a lot of wax in this now, and obviously this tub's got all the holes in it, so all the excess honey on this wax is going to go through there, and obviously we then sieve that, you know, whatever honey's in the bottom of this tub we can pour into there, and that will go through the sieve that's in that at the moment. Just taking it all off like so. A few little bits on there, but nothing more. So we've got 4 frames in here now, all ready for a spin. So we'll turn the camera around and we'll give that a spin. So that's the 4 frames in there. Look, I'll just give it a little turn, so you can see them in there. Look. So let me just, on that note, it's that way it'd go, wouldn't it? Or is it that way it spins, meant to spin? I've been doing it the wrong way. I've got a feeling it would work better that way, you know. So off we go, give it a spin. As you can see, all the honey coming out, look. Handles are slightly. Oh. So I've got a feeling that I might well have been spinning it the wrong way before, because it seems to be throwing out a bit more. I reckon it was throwing it out on the other frames on the inside, you know. Bring it back to an opening. Yeah, and that seems to have thrown that out a whole lot better. So I feel like I was actually spinning it the wrong way on the last lot. So always good, but you know, it still came out. You would think that this would only allow you to turn it one way, in aspect of it working in one way. So as we can see, it's all pulled it out, look. I think that's relatively good, that side. So what we do is we spin it over like that and do the other side on these. So it goes like that, like that. Same with these two. As you can see, it's pulled it all out, look. We go like that, like that. So it's pulling it out that side. It's pulled all that out, lovely, look. So we go that way. I'm going to give it another spin. We'll have a look at those. And obviously you can feel the weight difference in once they're spun. So these went in very heavy, and now they come out very light. And you can see that is all out of there. You're not going to get no more. You don't want to go damaging the frames any more than, you know, trying to get any more out of it. So put them back into the super. Oh, again, look, as you can see, and they're cleaning that all up nicely. And like I say, look, now that's all brought out for them. You know, it makes it so much easier. And that's why I think, as a beekeeper in your first year, you know, they always say you're not going to achieve nowhere near as much of anything as you are in the second year. And one of the reasons being is because you're using your frames like this, your old frames, you're using them again next year, and obviously they've got all of this as a head start. So that's what speeds the whole process up. When you're new, like I was starting out, you're just using blank wax frames. They've got to build all that out first before they start laying eggs, filling them with honey and so forth. So that's one of the reasons why. Okay, so remember, we're only looking to take the surface of the honey off. Wax, keep calling this bloody honey. Like so, and then looks like anything. It is easy to dig deep with this, so you know, keeping a very light hand on it, just so you're just taking the surface off it. It's a little bit tricky. Proper bee farmer with loads and loads and loads of them probably wouldn't care to zip straight through it. Or caring about how thick or deep people kind of went with it, but I'm after as much as I can. So there we go. Look at that. Glistening honey there, all ready for the extractor. Right, okay, so we've gone through it all. We've gone through all them frames. I can't remember how many I actually done. There was some frames that had a water content of 22. So I think there was 2, maybe 3 frames we've left in there. They will go back into the hive for the bees. Not gonna go and use them because they're not completely capped off. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a little look briefly and just have a little look of how much we've actually caught out of them potential frames. We'll just lift that up out of the way there. And obviously this is what the whole point of the sieve, because this is what gets caught within there. And as you can see, got quite a bit. This is a big drum, so we've got quite a bit in there, and we'll have to bucket that up. Obviously all the air bubbles and stuff that you can see within that, once that goes into the bucket and we leave it for 3 or 4 days, and that's then all of the air bubbles taken out of it, which would then be ready for the jarring process. So like I say, that will come out of there later tonight. I'll do it and we'll pour it into there, and I reckon we'll probably fill that up. Well, what we've got in there, it's a big drum. I reckon we'll probably fill that up, and I think that's 35 kilograms in there. We've got a little bit of honey. This is still really wet with honey, so it's still dripping through. We had a little bit in there, look. That'll get pulled into above the sieve in a minute, get it sieved out. I might even put this in that sieve and let it sieve all out, or I can put that to one side and just let the remainder, because there's still quite a bit running down this drum at the bottoms there. So there's still a bit in it. And what we'll do is a bit later, we'll come back with a video of releasing that into that. And I'm just going to go back out into the hives now and put these supers back in. Bees will clean these up. They'll get all nicely cleaned up by the bees, and I will do what I originally set to do, and I'll go into my hive 2 and I'm going to put this in replace of the super that I've got there at the moment with a lot of their honey and what have you. I will swap the two over. So I'll have the brood box, I'll have one of these sat there with the queen excluder on it, and then what the super is there at the moment, or put above on the super. I may well take the camera out there and just film that when I do that as well. But, so yeah. Right, okay, so we've got the super frames that we now want to put back into, shuffle this round a little bit, if you would like. Shuffle this around. So what I'm going to have a do is have a little look in there first, see how they're getting on with this anyway. And what I'm going to do is, so they've started to make progress on this super now. What I want to do is swap these around a bit. So let me think about this. So I'm just going to relieve this one off for the time being. Put that one down there. Have a look into this one. So that's pretty jammed up in there. So the only trouble I have got is I'm going to have to just check that I haven't got the queen in here to change this. We'll go for like a middle one here if we can. It's pretty damn sticky, so what I'm going to do is just, if we can gently take that out. I know, so they've capped a lot of this off, and obviously the queen could be up in this box now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start shuffling these about now. We've got to make sure that we haven't got the queen on any of these. We do have a little queen cup there. Let's remove that. So we've got a lot of bees in this hive now. So what we're going to do is put some of them clean ones that I've just extracted into this. So keep an eye out for the queen, because this is now will go above the queen excluder. So the last thing we want to do is get the queen trapped above the queen excluder. So I think what we'd do is so that's a nice empty one there that I put in there not so long ago, so that can stay. Let's sake. So we have queen cup being made there. Let's just check inside it. It is a play cup, there's nothing in there, but we will remove that anyway. We do have a lot of bees in there, so checking that that doesn't have the queen on it. And we move this one up as well. So put this one here in this super as well. And effectively what we're going to do is play around with this. We're going to go for lots of cat brood, as we can see. As long as we keep this with all the bees on it still, we should be okay. All the nurse bees and what have you. The frames that we've extracted into here, very sticky. Like I say, checking that we haven't got the queen up here, because these will now go above the queen excluder. So pretty happy that she's not on there. I'll put this into this one again, taking out all the blank, as I call them, frames, meaning, you know, just the plain cone ones. Kick the screen excluder. I can put another extracted frame into there. I'll do the same again. And this gives the queen some room as well. Grateful for the comment on my YouTube, and had the same concept running through my own mind, and they kind of finalised what I was thinking. So I thought, you know what, that's good enough for me, so I'm going to go with that. So we now have the super that's going to go above the queen excluder sorted out. We now put another frame of what we've extracted into there. We'll do the same with this one. Making sure we have no queen on there. Lots of cat brood. It's a very windy day, and the forecast for this week, certainly the next 3 days, is rain, and a lot of it. So I'm getting out here early. I know people will disagree with what I'm saying. He was only in here 3 days ago or whatever it was, but I need to do this. Something that I need to do, I feel, to give that queen the room she needs. And hopefully I can squeeze it as a tight fit. So I don't think I'm going to be able to move that one like I wanted to. But what we'll do is, it doesn't matter, but we'll get another one in there anyway. So she's now got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the frames that I extracted into this hive. Now we'll now put that queen excluder back on how it was before, removing the bees off of there because they kind of get squashed under it. And then what we're going to do is, I wonder if I can get one of those. So we're gonna fit that super onto there. Like so, and I wonder if I can just squeeze one of the ones I've extracted into it. So I want to get all these cleaned off anyway. So we put that into there. Bit of a tight squeeze. I don't know if it's going to allow me to do this. It's not, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We do have 11 frames in there. I thought I could squeeze 12 into it, but I can't. Not the end of the world. What we'll do, get this back in to some kind of order, so they've got the room either side. And I will then put the, so I've got 4 frames, which is okay, because what I will do is on my nuke boxes around the corner, I need to fit 4 frames in there. We'll fit the lid back on there, and then we'll open up the other hive and put the supers into that. Okay, so back into this one again. And what we'll do is, this is the one that we had to swarm in. So this now, it's nowhere near as many bees in it as it did before we had that swarm. Put that onto here. Hopefully, what that will now do as well is draw. Let me just have a look. No, I think what I might do is yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take out any empties like this, get all them out, making sure there's no bloody queen on there like last time. And we're going to start putting in the frames that we've just extracted. That way they've got drawn comb. Potentially we'll attract them up as well, which we want. So putting in the comb, and this is the one that was capped off as well. So we'll put them into there like so, and then what we will do is, again, making sure we don't have the queen on any of these. Even though we are shaking them into the box. We're going to be giving them what I feel that they need. Now I've freed up a lot of supers frames. I've got 1, 2, 3 there now, which will be fine. Oh no, I've got some more over there, so we'll get these last couple out. And we're put these 2 in. So there we have it. So they will clean them up nicely. I'll get that queen excluder back onto there, and I've got four frames now, super frames, that I want to stick into my nuke boxes, which is ideal. So though we don't need the queen excluder on there, I'm going to put it on there anyway. Put the crown board back on, so that's now give them something to work with. It's freed me up a lot of supers, because I reckon I'm going to need them very soon with that one hive 2 behind me, because that's got a lot of cat brood in there. There's a lot of bees in there at the moment. I can see that that's going to be building very quickly, especially if we have some hot days. Like I said before, I think they go to work really quick. So with the nuke box, I'm sure I am 2 frames short. Let's open it up and have a look. It's stuck. Yeah, as we can see, we're 2 frames short on that, and I'm 2 frames short on the one round the corner. So we're gonna again give them that to work with. Or is it 1? Actually, looks like it's 1. Thought I was 2 short. But what we'll do is we'll take that out, drop that down, give them that. That can then get cleaned off. It's also comb, drawn comb on there as before. And we'll do the same to the one around the corner. Oops, that's annoying because I have got feeder in there. Don't want to be drowning any. Seems to be okay. So what we've got now is 2 to go in the one around the corner there. May as well use them up, you know. It is far better than just plain frames. I need them cleaned up anyway, so we'll take the camera around to the other one and we'll do the same there. Okay, so it's been very windy the last few days, so what I had to do, because I got really worried, was not only have I got the strop over this nuke box anyway, I've also had to take it around the table, because what I didn't want was stand any chance of the wind blowing this off of here, blowing it one way or the other. So we put some feed in here for these as well. So what we're going to do is gently take that off, because it has got feed in it, and that swashes around, potentially starts drowning bees. So we know we have to add an extra frame in here anyway, so that will drop in there, and we'll take out one, making sure that we haven't got the queen on. I haven't even checked in this box for a queen yet. So what we'll do is we'll flick them off if we can. Flick them off into there, and off you go. And we will change that for the extracted one. And this one I'm going to move away tomorrow, 4 miles. I'm going to move this one away so then we can potentially bring it back. being careful with the lid again. So that's all the extracted combs that need cleaning out, all made to good use for the bees, which is ideal. This is so awkward to do being this high. Get that nice and tight, and we'll strap this back up and over the table again, because it's still relatively windy now. And the way this weather's been, I just don't chance any of it. Loosen it off a touch. So I'll show you what I've done in just a second. Move it back over there. As you can see, I've just taken it up and over around the whole of the table, just so we don't run a risk of that wind sliding this off any which way. Keeping it there all secure. And when we bring this one back, what we'll do is we'll have a look inside it and see if we can see the queen. So this is another interesting one. This is the Hive 1 swarm. That's why that hive is down by half. They're all in this box. I've introduced a super on top of the brood to give these more room. We're looking here for the queen next time, and what we'll do is a bit later tonight, I'm going to remove the honey from that extractor, and we're going to put it into the bucket, and so yeah, we'll do a short video on that, and that'll be it with Beekeeping Basics with Danny. Okay, so we've got the honey in the extractor now, so ready to take it out. And I will lift this camera up, and this is what we had in the fizz, or whatever you would call it. So that's what, you know, the access it catches. Can't really open it up, I don't think. Let's see if I can lift that off, and we'll have a little look inside so you can see what we've got. That's kind of the honey that we got. This is an exciting part. We've cleaned the bucket out. The bucket's nice and clean. So we're going to undo and we're going to let it flow out. I mean, look at that. Absolutely lovely. I'm going to do it so you can see in there, and look at that, just pouring out of there. Amazing. And there it goes, the honey. It worked out, so we had 22 frames. We then left 3 frames that wasn't ready. There was water content of 22. All the rest of this has been at 18 that we've done with a fractometer, so we know it was right. So we left them, we put them back into the hive, which we've also seen on the video. Just before the empty tub, so we know what that weighed, and then we'll weigh it again afterwards. And what I want to do is put something underneath this just to give it a tilt up. I reckon it'll fill this bucket up, right up. And this okay, and there we have it. So really pleased with how that came about. So we have obviously that's the air bubbles in it. That's all the air where we've pulled it back into there. And that's why you leave it for X amount of days. Pretty pleased with that. And yeah, so that's that. So I've got the last bit draining in there. I want to catch every little bit I can. Get it, it's all piling up into the bucket bit there. So I'm really pleased with that. I've got a whole bucket full. We're going to weigh that in a minute and find out what we actually got. But yeah, so interesting day today. Right, so we've left this tub 24 hours. We've got some cling film, and what we're going to do, see on the top of that we've got just the little parts of wax that's there, and I've been told that if you put a bit of cling film on the top and pull that off, that will bring that off with it. So we will test that, make sure that that works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it on top of that sieve, try and get it above the bowl, so whatever excess is on this, because it's going to pull quite a bit of honey off, I'll put it on there and then let the excess honey go in there, just so I don't waste any. There we go. So leave that just to run through that sieve. As you can see there's a little bit, but we can just tap that with some more cling film in a minute. We'll just take the last couple of bits out because we're going to jar this in a minute, so don't want any of that in it. Right, so I'm going to tip this into here. It's very heavy. So we've got the tap. I'm a bit annoyed, to be fair, because I didn't have a bucket with the tap on it. Learn by our mistakes. I bought some taps that I'm gonna fit to these buckets, so in future when it comes out of here and we put it into here, okay, so we've done ourselves up some glasses. I'll show you what when we start making these up in a bit. I'll show you what we've got, how we made these, and also done that on the back. So let's give it a go. I've been told you've got to kind of let the runny hun onto the glass, so that's one successful. Jar. It's very light when it's in the jar. Let's get the lid on it. One jar. Like pulling a bear.